Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Oxford manager Karl Robinson singles out Fabio Vieira. Oxford United manager Karl Robinson singled out Arsenal youngster Fabio Vieira for a praise after the last night FA Cup clash. Arsenal turned on the style in the second half last night after being held by a resilient Oxford side for just over an hour. Mohamed El-Nenni's header opened the scoring, while Edin Nketiah's brace rounded off a 3-0 win at the Qassam Stadium. While Nketiah has grabbed the headlines for continuing his brilliant scoring form in Gabriel Jesus' absence, Vieira put in an impressive display. The 22-year-old provided 2 assists on the night as he set up El-Nenni with a brilliant free kick before threading a perfectly weighted through ball to Nketiah for his first of the evening. The Oxford boss singled out the Portuguese midfielder after the game and praised his delivery for Arsenal's first goal. While Robinson was uncertain Arsenal should have been awarded a free kick, he was left impressed by Vieira's delivery. He told Oxford Mail the following: "I am not too sure if it was a free kick. The noise he made was the sound of a free kick, but I didn't have a clear view of it. The ball in was outstanding. I thought the referee in large parts of it refereed it really well. I didn't have a tremendous view of the free kick that led to the goal." Vieira has certainly shown in spells that he could become a brilliant creative outlet for Arsenal, but he will need time to adapt to English football. The Portuguese midfielder has only started 2 games in the Premier League so far, but he has been given the nod in cup competitions this season. He will certainly have to take his opportunities if he is to try and force his way into Arteta's side, especially with Martin Odegaard's recent form, but the youngster looks to have a bright future ahead of him in North London. He will undoubtedly play an important role as Arteta will look to rotate his side towards the business end of the season. Mikel Arteta reacts after what happened at London Colney last week. Arsenal continued their good form last night, avoiding an upset in the FA Cup against Oxford United. Before the match, Mikel Arteta caught up with Ian Wright on ITV Sports. The pair discussed a number of topics, including Fabio Vieira, who had a great game last night. The Gunners came away with a 3-0 win over the League One side. It sets them up in good stead for one of their biggest games of the season at the weekend. Arteta's side head across North London for a huge derby against Tottenham, which will be big for both teams. Wright asked Arteta about Arsene Wenger returning to London Colney recently and how important that was for the side. Wenger hadn't gone back to the club for years after leaving Arsenal in 2018. However, he finally returned to the Emirates on Boxing Day to witness their win over West Ham and has now been at the training ground too. When asked about the boss coming to see the squad, Arteta said, "You could feel he was emotional, that he really enjoyed and felt the love at the football club and the appreciation of everything he has done. It was weird to see him around the dressing room and talking to him, but at the same time, I think it was a beautiful day for everyone." Rio Ferdinand says he'd rather face Mahrez than Arsenal's Bukayo Saka. Rio Ferdinand has told his YouTube channel that he would rather try and defend up against Riyad Mahrez than Bukayo Saka of Arsenal, simply due to the England international's sheer pace. Arsenal are flying right now. They lead the way in the Premier League by 5 points, and it appears that Mikel Arteta's men are going absolutely nowhere, having only lost once in the top flight all season. They really are back amongst the heavyweights, and Saka has been absolutely pivotal to their form, scoring 6 goals and contributing 6 assists in the top flight. He also scored 3 times at the World Cup. Of course, the team Arsenal are jostling with at the top of the table, know exactly what it takes to compete in and win a title race, and Mahrez has been crucial to their success, winning 3 titles with City, as well as one with Leicester before his £60 million move. In his time with the Citizens, he has scored 71 goals and contributed 48 assists in 211 games in all competitions. The 31-year-old has undoubtedly been one of the great Premier League players of the last decade. Nevertheless, Ferdinand suggested that he would rather come up against the Algerian. He told his YouTube channel the following: "If I had to play against one or the other, I'd rather play against Mahrez over Saka because of Saka's pace. For me as a defender, If I was going to play fullback, he'd want to go by you all the time. He is a threat always to go behind you, whereas Mahrez takes little breathers in games. Listen, Mahrez is nuts. In terms of take-ons either way, he is one of the most efficient and effective. The fact that Saka and Mahrez are in the same conversation says everything about how quickly the Arsenal man has developed. He has been superb throughout his time in the Gunners' first team, and now that Arteta has built an impressive team around him, he has continued to kick on. Carney and Ian Wright react to Lokonga display at Oxford. Carney told ITV that she expected more from Albert Sambi Lokonga during Arsenal's FA Cup win over Oxford United, while Ian Wright suggested that it's not happening for the Belgian at the Emirates right now. The Gunners are safely through to the fourth round of the FA Cup after a 3-0 victory at the Qassam Stadium. The tie presented Mikel Arteta with the chance to make a number of changes. Lokonga was one of those who came in for the Premier League leaders, unfortunately. It has been a tough time for the 23-year-old. He has not played in the top flight since the North London derby at the start of October. It's fair to say that he has struggled to impress since joining the Gunners, and Carney suggested that he was outshone by Fabio Vieira against the League One side. Meanwhile, Wright was a little more sympathetic to the youngster as he continued to struggle. Carney told ITV the following: "Yeah, I probably expected more from Lokonga, but Vieira at the game stretched on. We saw his quality and his assist. I still think the key thing is his physicality and imposing himself on the game." Wright went on to add, "I think with Lokonga as well, Oxford played very well in the time he was on. It was very hard for him to find space, and that, unfortunately for him, he got taken off and Vieira stayed on, and he was able to show the quality once they got a little bit tired and he got a little bit more space. You are hoping at some stage it will kick on for Lokonga, because at the moment it doesn't seem like it's happening for him. Something is not working for Lokonga at Arsenal. He arrived with a big reputation, having captained Anderlecht before his move to the Premier League. He looks a long way off being that sort of players for the Gunners. Lokonga does not appear to be putting any pressure on Arteta's first choice midfield, and with Manchester City ahead in the next round of the FA Cup, it's hard to see where Lokonga's next start is coming from. Certainly, Arteta is hardly going to be in the mood to rotate in the Premier League anytime soon. Arsenal monitoring Trossard developments. Journalist Alex Crook has taken to Twitter to suggest that Tottenham Hotspur are interested in Leandro Trossard, but Arsenal are also monitoring developments involving the Brighton forward. Trossard is attracting attention after a superb first half of the season. The Belgian tops the Siglas goal-scoring charts, having scored 7 times in the Premier League. The high point came when he scored a hat-trick against Liverpool. Reports from the Daily Mail on Monday claimed that Brighton are aware that Spurs want the 28-year-old and they are not in the strongest position. Brighton have an option to extend his contract, but that will only cover them up until the end of the season. Crook also believes that Antonio Conte's side wanted Trossard. However, he added that Arsenal are looking on and monitoring the situation. Here is what Crook has posted on Twitter. Led to believe Tottenham interest in Trossard is genuine. No firm bids yet. Is under contract until 2024 after Brighton triggered a year's option as revealed on TalkSport last week. I am told Arsenal also monitors developments. No interest from Graham Potter and Chelsea at this stage. Arsenal fans will welcome the chance to sign Trossard. He scored a winner at the Emirates last season, and he has proved to be one of a number of inspired signings for Brighton. Rio Ferdinand suggested that he had been unreal earlier this season, and interestingly, FBref includes Phil Foden and Gabriel Martinelli as players who are similar to the Brighton forward. Gunners fans would love the chance to add another Martinelli-type player to their ranks, and Trossard has an ability to play all cover the forward line, including up front. They are obviously working on a move for Mykhailo Mudryk, so you would imagine that Trossard may be lower down the wish list right now. But Arsenal are well on their way to booking their return to the Champions League. They need further depth, and Trossard would surely tick a lot of boxes for the Gunners if he did make the switch. Fabrizio Romano says Tammy Abraham definitely won't be joining Arsenal this month. Fabrizio Romano has moved quickly to put the dampeners on a potential Tammy Abraham to Arsenal transfer during this month's window. Abraham was once again linked with a move to the Gunners over the weekend. La Repubblica claimed that Abraham is being monitored by both Arsenal and Manchester United. The former Chelsea has shown since moving to Rome and got onto the score sheet this weekend in a dramatic fashion. However, writing in his column for Count Offside, transfer specialist and journalist Fabrizio Romano has claimed that Abraham is going nowhere for now, quickly running any hopes Arsenal fans had. Romano's report reads, despite fresh links with Arsenal, Tammy Abraham will stay at Roma in January for sure. That's never been in doubt. He also scored a key goal against Milan at the end of the season. We will see in general what happens with Jose Mourinho and Roma's decisions on players, but nothing is happening now. Abraham has been watched by Arsenal before. He was on their list before they signed Gabriel Jesus. The Gunners are looking to sign a new forward this month. Abraham seems to have been on the list for so long that he is always going to be one worth keeping an eye on for Arsenal fans. Abraham has done really well since leaving Chelsea. His performances in Rome have been great, and he's done exactly what they signed him for. However, he'd surely be expensive for Arsenal to price him away right now, and there are also questions over whether he adds to the squad. Yes, he is a different option, but he might not quite suit how Arteta has got the Gunners playing. Arsenal make Mudryk breakthrough, with deal now close pending 30% bonus negotiation. Arsenal are finally close to agreeing a deal to sign Mikel Mudryk, according to reports from Ukraine. The Gunners have been chasing Mudryk all the window so far and seem to have finally beaten Chelsea to the post to land the impressive Mudryk. It seems Edu has been getting to work and a deal is now close, according to Sport Arena. Up until now, both Arsenal and Chelsea were struggling to get a deal done for Mudryk. Shakhtar have been holding firm on their valuation and were trying to fetch up to £100 million for their main man, but Sport Arena claims a deal is now all but done for Arsenal, meaning Shakhtar appear to have finally given in and accepted whatever terms are on offer. It's reported that the Gunners want 30% of the fee to be in bonuses, while the Ukrainian side wanted closer to 20%. Mudryk himself has also made it clear he wants to sign for Arsenal. The winger has posted a number of cryptic social media posts and in the end looks to have got his way. Well, it's about time, isn't it? Really? This one has dragged on now and it looks like Arsenal have finally got their man. This is good news as well. It means that Arsenal have got one of Europe's top young players in the door and also shows they can beat off the likes of Chelsea as well. Mudryk himself will be delighted as well. It's been clear as the day he wants the move, so he can finally look forward to getting down to business and impressing Gunners fans. At a time when Arsenal needed to back Mikel Arteta, the Cruwings have done just that. Mudryk will be a fine signing and might well be the difference maker. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news show, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.